So hey guys, this is Chuck. I'm coming to you today here with a short review on the Batman Under the Red Hood. Now, as you guys know, this was recently done as a movie, also in the DC animated universe. There are some differences because as that movie is based off the graphic novel that I have in my hand, there was some things that were cut out of the movie or cut out of the comic to make the movie. There are some scenes where, there's some issues with Onyx in here. Now, of course, in the movie you had the Mazo arc, and that's still in here. There was the Mr. Freeze arc taken out, also in here. The Kryptonite aspect of the graphic novel was not in the movie. You had Batman going around investigating the different heroes, on how they died and how they came back. Green Arrow, of course, Superman. They talked to each of them trying to find a way. Zatanna, knowing if she knew of any way for these people to come back, and about the Lazarus Pit bringing back Jason. So. And as you go through the comic and you look how they deal with this aspect of who the Red Hood is. Now, for those who don't know, or do know actually, we now know that this is Jason Todd, who was of course killed by the Joker in Death in the Family back, and he was resurrected through the Lazarus Pit, and so he basically, he loses himself and he comes back, not as a villain per se, but definitely not all there. So he, of course, is looking to take out these different criminals, and of course, Batman's looking to stop him. And there is this aspect where him and Batman fight, and Batman recognizes who this is, and of course, he's trying to determine on what happened here, how Jason was alive still, and once again, there are a lot of stuff that that they had in the comic and also in the animated movie, but. Now, in terms of the comic and the coloring and stuff like that, this is a very dark series. And now, of course, a lot of Batman stuff is very dark. But early on, this is one of the earlier series in the 90s where, Batman was focused on a lot of, especially after Death in the Family, he really started being very dark compared to a lot of other stuff. Because Batman's dealing with a lot. He blames himself for Jason's death, and so he's having a hard time dealing with this. So, and of course, he is looking through every aspect, trying to solve this riddle. What's happening? So anyhow, we know that now, of course, Red Hood and Black Mask are going after each other, and Batman's stuck in the middle trying to solve this. You go into where Deathstroke's now brought into the story, where Black Mask has hired him. We deal with, pretty much the same things, where they both team up together, and then, of course, then there is, they bring in these different, villains. Count Vertigo, then there's this, Hyena Man they brought in, and then there is I do believe there's this guy within like a Nazi uniform, and of course Batman and Red Hood took him out. Now, of course, in the animated film, that was a completely different characters they used to fight against Batman and Red Hood in the movie. So anyhow, we keep getting this backstory of how everything's going on. So overall, for me, this was the first time I've read it in probably about 10 years. So it definitely reminded me of a lot that went on and why I really enjoyed the story. So in terms of that, I would give the story, the artwork, The lettering, everything, I would give it a good, a plus in the story versus some of these other stories that are out there. Now, in terms of the actual aspect of the actual comic itself, one of the things I was very disappointed in when I purchased it was that it was not in hardback. Reason being why I was very disappointed because, we see this trend lately where almost a lot of the collector's editions of comics are done in hardback, like the Superman Rebirth. Then we have, the Superman Earth 1, Batman Earth 1. And then we have all the Green Lanterns series, Darkest Night, and they're all hardcover. So the thing is, this comic for $30 was soft cover. And I was kind of disappointed in that. I felt that for $30, they could have definitely went hardback, but it is still for $30. It's a great comic, not to pass up. I mean, this is probably one of the best Batman stories around, so I would highly recommend it. Now, just come out on 12/17, and but the cover is, we see this cover of Red Hood and Batman together, with the photos and stuff like that. And of course, the back has Jason Todd on the back. But anyhow, so I would definitely recommend it. And then, of course, in the end, back here, they have some other collectors, things that are coming out here. Like they have, Batman The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, which is probably one of the quintessential Batman stories. Then they have like Streets of Gotham, which is another good one. Batman Death in the City, Batman Detective, Batman Harvey and Ivy, Batman the Hush series, Batman and his Son. Of course, then all the different Robins where Batman takes over, and then of course there's the collector's edition of the Superman with Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness, and also, I do believe Michael Turner, if I remember correctly. In the first couple issues, Michael Turner was the one who, Superman, Batman, Supergirl, so anyhow, the comic is fantastic. It's probably one of my favorite Batman issues. The covers and colors are really nice. Now I'm going to show some shots here through the comic. Unfortunately I can't scan this in or anything like that, but I'll take some shots from online and I'll share it with you guys. But anyhow, that's just a general overview of how I feel that this comic was, why I really recommend it. Once again, it's probably A+ in my category, just overall. With story and everything, I would give the binding and everything else, I would probably give it a C. Overall, for weighted grade, a good solid B to A-. So I would highly recommend it. But anyhow, guys, I will join you. I will see you in the next review, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.